So there's an offering or a suggestion from one of us, and the other person is already on board before they've finished the sentence. Usually, where you're like starting to tell me something, I'm like, yes, this sounds good. Let's do it today. So it's a mixture of a friendship coming from being two emerging artists and needing support from our emerging artists, that space. Yeah, building trust through that exchange of feedback, and then just finding the same things funny and wanting to share music and things like that.
And I think trust, I think that is what makes this whole thing really work. And because we have been sharing, sort of our heart and soul, sending each other paintings that are in progress or ideas we haven't fully developed.
Very vulnerable
over
moments.
The course of a couple of years. That is really trusting somebody. And so now to be in this space and painting in front of each other and trying new things, which a lot of people, they put their walls up trying new things. So to be able to trust the other person, I think is a big reason that this has worked so well.
There was enough reassurance in knowing each other so well and each other's practice that we knew it was going to work somehow, but we didn't know how the actual paintings were going to come together. So that was pretty cool.
I think what also really helped is we both just have an openness and a willingness to say yes to any idea the other person has.
Every idea.
Yeah, so we've started so much stuff, which is great. It's been like a creative flurry. We just sat down for 5 or 6 hours, didn't stop, didn't get up to eat or anything. It was just constant. And we were talking each other through how we mix our paints, which colours we're using, how we apply the paint, and, the things we use like mediums, and just seeing another artist doing that in person is a really rare opportunity, I think. It's not something you get to see a lot of.
Yeah, and I think the other part that's been really nice about that is that we're not just watching someone do it, we're also participating. So both of us painting on the canvas at the same time, we're showing each other what we're doing, and we're also learning from each other. There's no real point where someone is instructing and the other person is listening. We're doing both of those things at the same time.
And even if we do have an idea of how we plan to approach a painting, like a methodology or something, and we get halfway through it and decide we want to try something else, we do. We're not like, too strict on what our ideas are going to be.
Yeah, we're not precious about the initial ideas. The sort of connection that we have and the respect we have for each other's practice is that any suggestion the other person makes is really exciting, and I think accepting that without questioning it has been a real strength here, because even when we're doing this one with the continuous line composition, I suppose that's how I would explain it, each time someone added something, it was like immediately accepted.
And it almost doesn't feel like it's half your practice and half my practice. It actually feels like an entirely new creative practice.
It's something different altogether, because I'm painting with you in a way that I never paint in my practice, and you've also said that there's a different approach for you as well. So in doing the residency to find out the mechanics of our collaboration, we've actually discovered a new third shared practice, and that has been really weird. I didn't think that would happen. I thought we would have a blending of our practices that came up with very dynamic works that had detail and abstraction and expression and all of the things that sort of between our practices, like representations of both of our practices, but it's something else altogether. It doesn't feel like a pressure to perform my practice in front of you. I'm just sort of like, I don't know what I'm doing. Do you know what you're doing? Great, we both don't know what we're doing.
The whole time it's been like, and what colour were you thinking? It's like, I was thinking yellow. I was thinking yellow.
Yeah.
It's just, it's been really easy.
there's a lot of shared thoughts, I think, and that's fun too, if we're thinking the same thing. And I think that just shows that it's been working because, we're having the same ideas and suggesting them to each other, and that part's quite funny. There was a lot of standing back and being like, this looks sick.
Yeah, that's
really
me.
cool.
Like every time we started painting, like we were working on that one last night, every like 30 minutes I like stand back and I'm like, this slaps.
Yeah, a lot of excitement in the middle of the night. Yes, every
like, this slaps.
This is so cool, this is looking sick. Yeah, it was definitely feeling spellbound by Queenstown though, that we wanted this collaborative residency to be in Queenstown. And I'd heard so much about your experience here in the residency and what that involves in terms of going into the community and meeting people, other artists, having people come into this space, and all the conversations that happen with the creative community in Queenstown. I thought that would be, that sounded like something I really wanted to do as well. And you made it sound great. So
it's really funny. It's almost like people do get spellbound when they come here because one person will come here because someone brought them here. They fall in love with it, go back to Hobart or Launceston or wherever, and then they bring a couple more friends up here. I think that ink drawing is really helpful. It does have things in common with what we've been doing in our collaborative space. And most of that is just the playful element of it. So we're not bogged down by trying to create really beautiful things or really fully realised things. And that is what this is. And we've been encouraging the community, this is play, this is fun. And so that means that we've been able to just play and have fun, and really cool ideas have come out of that element.
Definitely. And I think, it was a way for us to hear from the community in real time what collaborating feels like, and collaborating on a mass scale like this, because we've had 52 so far add to it, not including us, so 54 artists, or people if they don't want to call themselves artists. So quite a few people involved in it, and it's been a space of open conversation about what it feels like to be adding to an artwork that other people have added to before you or are adding to in real time. There's these unspoken rules that people seem to pick up just from cues in the space that, not going over someone else's drawing or covering up someone else's drawing completely, or not going over the edges, we noticed as well. So we've been asking people to sort of have conversations with us about what it feels like, not so directly, but sort of chatting with people while they're doing it and seeing what it feels like for them, because it's helping us inform our understanding of what's happening in our collaboration.
Yeah, and I guess we've also had to sort of unlearn some of those unspoken rules of not painting over each other's things. Like the first painting we did was my practice and Maggie's practice, and it's behind me. It's the Rorschach, where the left side was my side, the right side was hers. And then the next one we did end up painting over each other's work, and it was really interesting to do that because you almost feel like you're not allowed to. But it ended up being quite easy. It actually worked.
It worked really well, and that's what we say to people when they come in to do this, is that there's no rules, and we have to say that to ourselves as well while we're doing the collaboration. So
I didn't notice that parallel, but my catchphrase when the 50 odd people have come in is there's no wrong answers, and we have been doing that this whole time as well.
Yes, we have.
No wrong answers. We're saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't notice half of these parallels.
Can't get it wrong.
Yep.
Can't possibly get it wrong, and that concept is really hard to really sink into, that you can't get something wrong in visual art because it's usually about aesthetics and all of that, but we're trying to see what just the mechanics of collaborating are, not necessarily making really good paintings, but what it feels like when two artists meet in the middle, and where those lines are, if there are any lines to cross. it is really good to explain it to other people, because even when I've been talking to people as they're coming in here, when I explain what we're doing, hearing myself say it is helping me understand what's actually happening. And moving past what our intentions were for the residency, it's everything we hoped would happen is happening, but it's happening in ways that we didn't expect. I would say each one is like a document of the next sort of level of the residency for us and the collaboration. So, you know, starting with the Rorschach, that was first document to say this is what it feels like to actually paint on the same surface at the same time. And then each painting has, just kept...
Yeah, they're like a little bit more involved in terms of the back and forth between the two of us. Like the Rorschach, like you said, the first one painting on the same canvas.
Yeah.
This one a little bit more overlapping. And then this one here, we were taking turns to put a mark on. So there was even more overlapping with that one. So it's been like a really iterative process. And the first few days, we just played with drawings. So we didn't jump right into collaboration. We've been easing into it, but without,
Yeah, and I think just another thing I've realised is that we're treating this how we treated the drawings, is that we started with sort of simple tasks and then built gradually up to doing a larger scale collaborative drawing. And that was, 30 seconds, quick drawings and swapping our books for each other to finish the drawing in 30 seconds. That's how we've started the painting process, as well as we've started with one task that is the first layer or level of it, and then building up, like you said. So I think that I didn't realise that. And that's cool too. So we're finding things out.
Yep.
Which is great. It's been so many valuable lessons that we can take back for our own practices. So I think that it's got really good outcomes for any artist who's interested in learning more about their practice or challenging themselves to do something they're uncomfortable with or a bit unsure about. That's just good practice as an artist, to be challenging your sort of regular ideas.
So we've had a few ideas about what we want to do after this residency, about maybe sharing the idea of collaborating with other artists within the Tasmanian artistic community.
I would love to see what two artists who have come to a workshop and engaged in all of these silly, playful activities that we've done here, and then what comes out of that working with another artist.
I can think of artists that I would want to put together.
Yes,
some really different artists, some really
Yeah.
similar ones, and I've got them in my head. Like, I'd love to see what on earth they would do.
Like, don't just pick someone who your practice aligns with, because you obviously, like we've talked about, building trust in the collaboration and getting that connection so that you can work successfully together. But picking someone who has a practice that's really opposite, like ours, has been allowed us to learn so much about the collaborative process. We haven't hit any walls that we can't sort of move through, but we have encountered really interesting challenges with it, where we've both adapted our practice to fit the collaboration. So it is tempting to suggest the artists that we think would work together based on what we've learnt during this residency. Yeah, and it would be cool to pair people up.
Very cool.
Yeah. I honestly think we've had the most fun just staying up at night painting, because we both work in that way. There is no judgment, no explanation necessary. We don't have to talk about it beforehand. We just know that that's where it's leading as the night is, carrying on a bit. And I think that's been really fun, and we've had a lot of silliness in this studio.
I was going to say, we get the late night sillies,
We
which
do.
I think a lot of people
laughing.
are prone to, but we're staying up real late, and when you're just focused on something for so long, I don't know, there's some part of your brain that just loses it a bit. So
There's been a lot of laughing in this space, a little bit of dancing in this space as well, and a lot of painting and a lot of talking. It's been, the silliness has been very fun, and that has translated to the playful nature of the collaboration. Like, we don't, necessarily, we're trying not to overthink what we're doing, so the silliness works really well with that, is that everything remains playful and experimental as well.